السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على محمد رسول الله الذي بعثه الله رحمة للعالمين وعلى آله وصحابته أجمعين ومن عمل بما جاء به من القرآن وسنته إلى يوم الدين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Well, in the inception, after thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us this opportunity, which is very auspicious, to be chosen, identified as a resource person for this highly important gathering, the objective of which is self-transformation and rehabilitation, geared towards occupying your rightful position, proactively contributing in human civilizations, not only existing as an existential, existing only for the sake of existence, because trees are existing, animals are existing, ants are existing, but we exist to participate. We must be proactive as Muslims, as human beings, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after creating the first man as mentioned in Surah Al-Fatir, verse number 71, 72, when your Lord informed the angels that I would create a being from mud, that is sand mixed with water, and when I finish with it in the right proportion and breathed my breath, that's my command, my power in him, you prostrate yourself before him out of respect and in execution of my injunction, that is my command. All the angels together, they did as Allah commanded, except Iblis, who was ungrateful. وَكَانَ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ. He was full of bigotry, self-conceit, haughtiness. Eventually, وَكَانَ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ. He became an ungrateful being out of ignorance that Allah was not asking him to prostrate before a being, because prostration is totally due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is the only deity that is entitled to that. But out of that ignorance, Iblis had thought that it was to Adam. Well, I think this is a base from where we can pick up the topic that I am assigned to discuss on or to dilate on. And I think my brother, I don't know who actually selected the verse read from Surah Al-Ma'idah. I don't know how it came about, whether it is haphazardly or it was a pre-planned. Yeah, okay, that's very good. Because it's one of the verses that provides all the manifestation of mental slavery, of terrorism, of fear, instillment of fright in the minds of people, how to control people, the impact, the influence, and the consequences long term, which is pathological sometimes. It requires a lot of medical attention to cure the person, the patient. And the Gambia, as a traumatized people, I think this verse is highly relevant, because we need millions of psychiatrists to cure the Gambian mind, which is highly disoriented. But before that, as a Muslim, whenever you are introduced into Islam, we are born into Islam imitatingly, but not emulatively or critically or analytically. Because most of our beliefs, if you ask us, where is Allah, who is Allah, when is Allah, we would simply answer, we were born or we found people doing it. وَجَدْنَا آبَاءَنَا عَلَىٰ أُمَّةٍ وَإِنَّا عَلَىٰ آثَارِهِمْ لَمُقْتَدُونَ. So any belief system that is not conformable to truth and supported by proof is subjected to turbulence. And that turbulence is what is causing disorientation, and it is causing a lot of problems in our worldview, in our understanding of ourselves, our surroundings, and the world generally. But as a Muslim, the first article of faith, you want to be inducted in this great religion, which impacts on the three dimensions of man, that is the mind, the soul, and the body. Your first article is Ashhadu. Ashhadu. You don't say A'alamu, you don't say Adaraku, you don't say Ahissu, you don't use any other verb except this one. But at the same time, in Arabic, the first person singular, the speaker, uses the Hamza. Adhahabu, I'm going. Akulu, I'm eating. Anamu, I'm sleeping. Everywhere you see, the Hamza is there, the article of the first person. You say Ashhadu. It is so personalized. This article, Hamza, is so personalized in the sense that when you say Ashhadu, you are not associating yourself with anybody. You are declaring and acknowledging that you, the speaker, you are declaring solemnly and consciously, voluntarily, that there is nothing that is to be worshipped except Allah. Well, the starting point is, the topic is how providing the cure, isn't it? Either a prophylactic cure or a panacea. Because cures are sometimes, there's a difference between curing something and treating something. We cannot cure mental slavery, but we can treat it. Well, when we cure it, which means we're going to eliminate it. And it is a sunnah, we cannot eliminate it. It is part and parcel of our existence. As long as there are breeding grounds to cultivate what is called the despicable called ignorance. So we cannot cure it, but we can treat it. So, for that matter, when you say Ashhadu, if we really understand, in fact, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam historically, which is still a reality, because Muhammad is still present actively in our midst. You know why? That's why when you go to Surah Al-Baqarah, I believe, or Surah Al Imran, yeah, exactly, Surah Al Imran, verse 138, is very interesting for us to understand this. كَيْفَ تَكْفُرُونَ, out of that surprise, out of that, wonder, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is causing us to be wonderful. To feel that wonder about ourselves. كَيْفَ تَكْفُرُونَ, how can you be ungrateful? وَأَنْتُمْ تُتْلَى عَلَيْكُمْ آيَاتُ اللَّهِ, when the words and the commandments and the prohibitions of Allah is clearly recited into your ears in your midst. وَفِيكُمْ رَسُولُهُ, and his prophet is physically present in your midst. But somebody can ask, where is Muhammad physically in our midst? Of course, certainly Muhammad is in our midst. The Quran is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because Allah says, "Inna arsalnaka ya ayyuhan nabi, inna arsalnaka rasulan." We sent you, you the prophet. We sent you as a messenger. Wa mubashiran, giver of good tidings. Wa nadhiran, warner against evil. Wa da'iyan ilallah, caller to the way of Allah on his permission. Wa sirajan muniran, and a light, a scintillating, overwhelming light. So for that matter, Muhammad is still in our midst. The Quran is there, the Sunnah is here. But our problem is our lack of understanding or inadequacies that we suffer over years, being subjected to different cultural invasions. Call it the West, call it the East. And Allah says his deen is la sharqiyya wa la gharbiyya. But we are invaded, we are hypnotized, we are tortured, We are terrorized, we are educated either by the East or by the West or together. So these are some of the factors that actually led to our seeing ourselves as the lowest of the low on the ladder, or on the, what do you call it, on the list of creation. Ashhad, I bear witness. You bear witness, nobody forces you, that there is nothing to be worshipped except Allah. You are telling yourself that beside Allah, there I am the boss. Nobody is a boss over me. Nobody should impose anything upon me as long as I believe that Allah is the only boss. وَأَنَّ مُحَمَّدٌ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ. And Muhammad ﷺ is the only person who received a revelation called the Quran and presented to me perfectly and accomplished everything that he was assigned to do. You accept that. There is a difference between acceptance and acknowledgement. In the Gambia, we acknowledge, but we don't accept. That's our problem. Even intellectually, this is why there is a big failure. The greatest intellectual in the Gambia could be the biggest thief, because there is no moral probity. There is no sophistication. The morality, ethical basis are not there. Without that ethical basis, the only way to get that ethical moral basis is ashhadu. I know, I understand, I feel, I'm conscious, I'm present, I'm participating, I'm obeying, that you are the only God. Too personalized. If you accept that, you know it, then nobody can just colonize you. In fact, colonialism is an accident. And it is part of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's greater wisdom. It's an accident. Because this is part of Allah's wisdom. Sometimes you consider evil as an evil, but it is going to bear something very great and good for you. And this is colonialism. I mean, who inspired the Western powers to come out of their coal, to come and search for something in Africa, in Latin America, in Asia? And look what it created. Gradually, they were building. They were instruments to fulfill a greater wisdom of Allah that is called a global village. Wherever you go in this world, you find the black people. Wherever you go in this world, you find the white people. So that colonialism was a mechanism, was a process to create a global village. Isn't it? So for that matter, when you say ashhadu, you are declaring to yourself independently your power that Allah is the only boss, there is no boss over you. And there is no other reference that you're going to use as a system of living and life, interaction, and actively participating in development of this world, particularly in civilizational, scientific, economic, name it. It's from the Quran that's brought by Muhammad ﷺ. Okay, we read the Quran, and it's a problem. My brother really rightly quoted. I'm going to treat this verse anyway. This verse and similar verses, I mean, these are the cure. Allah provided the cure. I'm not going to provide it. Allah provided it clearly, effectively, and it is encompassing. Everybody could be cured or treated according to this verse. It is called one of the wonders of creation and one of the critical contradictory principles of nature. Our fathers die, our mothers die, we cry, we are overwhelmed with sorrow and grief, but it is an advantage for the mother and the father to die. Yeah, paradoxically, but at the same time, it is a very good advantage for you. So that's why when you say, I declare Allah is the boss, but go back to Surah Al-Isra, verse number 71, 72, or 72 precisely. وَلَقَدْ كَرَمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. This is the Quran. وَلَقَدْ كَرَمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. You know, Allah actually adjure. This is called adjuration. You know, declaring that it is there. It must be done. Kaminkili kalora, an oath. And after the oath, there is an article called an added emphasis on the sentence or on the statement. Laqad. indeed in English, or certainly. وَلَقَدْ كَرَمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. We've given mankind, the son of Adam, the highest level of esteem, honor, and dignity. And we know that we are sons of Adam. This is the secret why in this verse Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't say وَلَقَدْ كَرَمْنَا إِنسَانٍ, because my humanity could be different from the American humanity. That's why when they say 1948 December, 10 December, Declaration of the Universal Right of Man, it is the right of man of a Western origin. It's not my right. They are killing me. They are oppressing me. They are doing everything evil against me economically. I have no voice in the UN, no veto. Do I have it? Economically, they give me grants, loans. The IMF is killing me. The World Bank is setting strings of conditions. And yet I say I am intellectually okay. I am a slave. The most despicable, disgusting state and status of slavery is you think you know you don't know. This is how they educate us. ABC, Alif, Ba, Ta, Sa. It's the same, no difference. And we attach our destiny to people who actually know the secret of this world. They know that this world is a world of competition. It's a material world. They don't care about the material, the spiritual aspects. So we have a problem. Let's go to there. وَلَقَدْ كَرَمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. I am the son. I am an offspring of Adam. At-takrim means in Arabic a valuable asset. Something the value of which cannot be just measured in terms of material criteria. I am too important as a human being for me to be judged based on my earnings, my possessions, my positions, my material gains. No, it's absolutely nonsense. When the Muslims use the material criteria, everything is distorted. Even in our prayers, when we see people going to the mosque every day, we judge them out of that practical, manifested, and physical eye that we see. We see that's the best of the best. But we don't care about the behavioral pattern of that guy. So our eyes are even polluted, intoxicated. In fact, there is no oxygen in the brain. We are in coma. Asphyxiation. So for that matter, Allah says, وَلَقَدْ كَرَمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. Read this verse, understand it. It will never bow your head down. You will never. وَلَقَدْ كَرَمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ وَحَمَلْنَاهُمْ فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ. You know, we gave them the power to be in control of the land and sea. Are we in control of the land and sea? Now we're coming to the civilizational aspect of this vicegerency, this representation, because we are here to build, to construct, and to walk righteousness, worship Allah, go back. Even our lands have been, we are deprived of our rights on our lands. وَحَمَلْنَاهُمْ فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ. We are not in control of our land, much less the sea. The resources there are not ours. It's been plundered and taken by people. And with our open eyes and in our presence. But we lack something. We are inferiority. There is that disease called inferiority complex. I cannot do it. I cannot master the science. I cannot do this. It is the Tubabo Talon, the Arabo Talon, Indian Talon. You know, inferiority complex is the most dangerous enemy that is operating against our existence as a people and as a nation. To a level, even the woman folk, look at it. They will bleach the skin and they will put that artificial hair on the head. And some will fix the artificial nail. I mean, that is the worst form of inferiority complex. You know, it's in fact, you cannot just, when you think about it, you shed tears in secret. That our people are dead. Zombies walking up when they are dead. وَلَقَدْ كَرَمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ وَحَمَلْنَاهُمْ فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ وَرَزَقْنَاهُمْ مِنَ الطَّيِّبَاتِ. We've endowed them profusely, unconditionally, with all the good things of this earth. But are we using the good things? It is either drugs, alcohol, smokes, mental poisoning. Because it is not only these things that poison your mind. Even the educational stuff poisons you. This research methodology poisons you. Because you'll be limited. Your brain is bigger than the university. But you are limited by the methodological structure. You know, pre-planned education. We are pre-programmed to go according to a predetermined line. You cannot deviate. You cannot bring in new. You cannot remove the old. A good example is Sheikh Anta Diop of Senegal. I think you hear about that man. When that man, prepared his doctorate thesis, establishing, a long term, a very, very, very old historical misconception that the black man never contributed anything in human history. That man alone was able to discover out of the cupboard, out of nowhere, that Egypt is a land of the black people, and the pharaohs were black in color. There was no white man, there was no brown man, a green man in Egypt. Name it, from Abraham down. That man was able to use a flesh of pharaoh, analysis scientifically, to establish the melanocytes, which is the brown and the black. Because melanocytes, you have the yellow and you have the red. You have the brown and you have the black. The melanin, produced by the melanocytes, the cells under your skin. He established it and scientifically proved that this is the truth. But he was denied the rightful award of giving a doctorate degree. The man was awarded posthumously after his death. University of Sorbonne, they refused to give him his degree because the concept was too big, was too abnormal to them, was something that is very unique, has never come to light except by that guy. That man was never suffering from inferiority complex. But everybody else was suffering from the disease. And that man did it. An example is Frantz Fanon. I think you read about him, who wrote The Wretched of the Earth, Black Skin, White Mask. You name them. Kwame Nkrumah, you name them. That is politically, at least in terms of human Africans, I mean. But religiously, we have very good examples, surpassing the ones I even mentioned right now. You go to the people. وَرَزَقْنَاهُمْ مِنَ الطَّيِّبَاتِ وَفَضَّلْنَاهُمْ. Tafdil means to increase you. Everybody is given, but what is given to you is more valuable to a degree. وَلِلرِّجَالِ عَلَيْهِنَّ دَرَجَةً. Given everything. Allah has given us preference, privilege over everything. In fact, we are more important in terms of spiritual evaluation than even the angels. The angels are created not to go against the commandments of Allah. They are robotic. They do what they are asked to do. La ilma lana illa ma allamtana. But for us, wa allama Adam al-asma'a kulla. We have been taught. So obviously, we are more sophisticated than them. And they work for us. Are they not our messengers? Then they work for us. Then we are the superior. But we don't have to be self-bigotry, self-conceit. We don't have to be somebody full of pride. You know why? You go to Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 206. When he is given power and throne, وَإِذَا تَوَلَّى سَعَى فِي الْأَرْضِ. He walked the land, لِيُفْسِدَ فِيهَا, to destroy and corrupt the land. وَيُحْلِقُ الْحَرْثَ. He destroyed agriculture, وَالنَّسْلَ, and the cattle. إِنَّهُ لَا يُحِبُّ الْفَسَادِ. Allah never wanted corruption. But Allah said those people, he says that very person, that he has a very dangerous, a painful abode that he is going to enjoy in the next life and even in this life. So we are human beings. We are the superior bunch, but without any pride, without seeing ourselves as above everything. Because we are created and there is the law that is governing and ruling our lives. That is the Quran and the Sunnah. So for that matter, Allah says, وَفَضَّلْنَاهُمْ عَلَى كَثِيرٍ مِّمَّنْ خَلَقْنَا تَفْضِيلًا. Okay, this is a verse. Please analyze this critically and use it, ponder, reflect on it. You see yourself in this verse. وَلَقَدْ كَرَمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. You see yourself clearly in this verse. Because if you know that Allah has given you that dignity and respect, okay, you don't have to delegate it to any other person. That's the difference between Islamic law and Sharia law. You know why? Because in law, whenever you go against a stipulation, an article of a law, you have infringed the law. Isn't it? But in Islamic law, whenever your actions are detrimental to righteousness and to goodness, then you have infringed the law. See the difference? In the law, for example, in the Gambian law, if there is an article that you do this, this will be done to you. You will never, nothing will be done to you. An example is, impregnation out of wedlock. Boys and girls impregnating each other out of marriage. There is no law in the Gambia incriminating that, isn't it? There is no law. Yeah, but when you kill somebody, they kill you. There is a law against killing. But in Islam, that impregnation, that fornication or adultery out of wedlock is evil, is against righteousness and goodness. Because the issue, that son, when he grows up, somebody can tell him, ite jankadion, and out of that anger, he can react and he can even kill that person. Who is the cause? The father and the mother. So that's the difference. So when we go into this verse, we see ourselves very clearly. Okay, let me come to the verse where we can get some treatment, isn't it? But before that verse, I'll go to another verse to show how people are hypnotized, how people are turned upside down, but they think they are walking straight. The Israelites, the son of Israel. You know, Israel is another name for Yaqub. When the Quran calls the children of Israel, Ya Bani Israel, it's exactly the same as if he is saying, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. When they are very good people, when there were people in need of the intervention, divine intervention, providentially to secure them from the claws and the terror of Pharaoh, to liberate their minds and their body, their bodies were liberated, but their minds were hypnotized in Egypt for almost 40 years, or 80 to be precise. Because they were the children of Israel. They came into Egypt through the presence of Yusuf. So they were the increase in number. There was multiplication because they were just, their numbers increased. So that increment in their numbers, constituted a political threat to Pharaoh. Pharaoh saw that if I don't take care of these people, they might one day overthrow me. And Pharaoh said it. If you allow these people, Musa and his brother, they want to destroy your system, political system, and be the overlord in Egypt. So Moses came with miracles. Moses himself was born in Egypt. But look at the Quran, the objectivity of the Quran. Nobody is beyond that disease called mental slavery. Nobody is beyond that ailment called inferiority complex. Do you know that Moses at one time even suffered from this problem as a prophet? Do you know that? That's why our president, our ministers, our intellectuals, myself, I'm not excluded. I am sometimes even more hypnotized than you people. But thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by the power of the Quran, I think if liberation is 100, I've achieved 77 now. Some people might argue, all the time they are arguing. They are saying Sheikh Muhammad will never quote any scholar. This is what they say. I will quote when there is a necessity to quote. And I will quote when the idea is relevant to what I'm speaking. But I cannot quote to demonstrate to you that I'm quoting, to tell you that I know that that person said this, then I'm repeating what that person said. That's absolute nonsense. It's intellectually unacceptable and unscientific. My time and his time are different. So you must be yourself. You must be independent in thought and opinion. Try to create, innovate, and emulate. Well, you don't have to be imitating every time. You know, there's a difference between facts and just reporting. Journalists go and report. But we need facts. We don't need reporting. A journalist never says anything that is beyond, his sight. So we don't need to be just reporting. We need facts. And this fact is inexhaustible. It is inestimable. It is there forever in the Holy Quran and in the saying of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right? So the Israelites were in Egypt, subjected to day in, day out slavery, oppression. That's why man is not created to be oppressed. Man is not created to be tortured. Man is not created to be fooled. Man is not created to be deceived. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the first privilege given to man is to clean the mind, that is educating him. But what education is that, and what is our education today? We are given ABC in the classroom, but we are not educated in the Gambia. I tell you, all of you are striving to achieve a document. A document, either a diploma or what? A degree. You get a position. But is that document, controlling your moral principles? No. But that document is accrediting you before the eye of the people that you achieved that document. But you are not changed by that document. Then you are not educated. That's why they are stealing. That's why we go to the office, you don't find them there. That's why you go to the office for them, you pay them, because your tax pay them. But you go to the office, you find them with their attitudes. They think they are the boss. They don't know what is a boss. They are a servant. So education tells you who you are. Well, we are giving information here. So the Israelites were in Egypt, subjected to slavery. As the African American, a good example. An African American will never be liberated. Will never be liberated despite being in America, the most advanced country, technologically, politically, isn't it? But only to America politically, it's not to me. You cannot compare my political advancement to their political, because it's not benefiting me. It is causing problems on me with their ugly president called Donald Trump, causing problems in the world. So people are subjected to slavery, a slave mind. You know, when your objective is not clear, when you're going is not clear, when you're going where you're going is wrong, then your methodology is not correct. And when your methodology is not correct, your ideas and concepts will never be relevant. And when your ideas are not relevant, you become a terrorist. You are filled with terrorism. And when you are filled with terrorism, terror in your mind, your education is corrupted. And nothing good comes out of a terrorist mind, except destruction, except killing, except burning, except lowering the standard of people, except seeing people as nothing absolute. I think we get the point. So that's why it is very interesting for the Quran to provide this very good example, a living example for us to emulate and to deduce inferently very good lessons out of it. That's why these children of Israel, look at it. You know, they were liberated. Musa did everything. Musa did everything. That's why, I think there's time, isn't it? I want to treat this subject, exhaustingly. Musa himself, when he was assigned, commissioned to go, he was having a stick, a shepherd's stick. Ma tilka biyaminika, what is in your hand, ya Musa? Qala hiya asaya, it is my stick. Atawakkau alayha, I rely on it to support me. وَحُشُّ بِهَا عَلَى غَنَمِ I cut the grass and the tree leaves for my cattle. وَلِيَ فِيهَا مَآرِبُ أُخْرَى I have other purposes for it, functions. 3 purposes, 2 are manifest, the third one is ambiguous and general. Isn't it? Allahu Akbar. We are made of 3 components. It is our mind, our soul, our body. Subhanallah. Well, Musa has to be taught because Musa was born at a time when material manifestations, realities were prevailing. He has to be taught. The stick has to be demonstrated into a viper and into a tiny snake, swiftness and power. A big snake for defense, a small snake for swiftness. The snake do 2 things. So Moses, when he was taught, because he has to see the stick, otherwise if Moses is asked to go to Pharaoh, not being taught, demonstrated before him, and in the presence of Pharaoh, he threw the stick. If the stick transformed into a snake, Moses will be the first to run away, not Pharaoh. Yeah, that was a material reality prevailing. It was in the minds. That's why Pharaoh was telling them, I am the Lord. I am the God. Ma alimtu lakum min ilahin ghayri. I am the Lord of this land. So out of that prolonged bombardment, as they do to us, CNN, BBC, GRTS, every day bombarding our minds with the same monotonous information, we are pre-programmed robotic living. Very dangerous. The Freemason is everywhere. It's even in your tea, you don't know. Because you put too much sugar, you die. Too much coffee, you can't your body. Phone number. The Freemason is everywhere. وَرَزَقْنَاهُمْ مِنَ الطَّيِّبَاتِ Go back to the verse. So you should know what is tayyibat to you for yourself. Don't allow anybody to tell you what is tayyibat. Go to your oranges, your mangoes, your mampatos, your tabo. This is good for you. This is mental liberation. You don't have to wait. I mean, a doctor with a British medical prescription guidance. Inata minabela malaria, eka toto leban wolom, eka photo leban wolom. He opened the book. The medicine was made in Britain. I asked him, "It's killing you." This is how many people die in this country. Given information, but not even educated. We're not very much overzealous. We are not revolutionaries. But we see the truth. We see the facts. We will never shut our mouths. And we just open the venue for challenge against anybody. Not out of pride, but out of exposing the truth, liberating the minds of the people. Because Islam came to liberate man. Tahrirul Insan. Islam came, to rehabilitate man to its original position as the vicegerent, as the representative, as the knowledgeable, as the scientist, as everything good of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on this land. And to worship Allah, to do good. Equality, justice, peace, tranquility, comfort, respecting knowledge, and raising it to the level of worship, respecting work, production. This is Islam. But where do we stand in relation to these facts, these values? Our problem is we have facts, we have values, but we don't just amalgamate them. We don't integrate them in our living systems. This is our problem. Because we are detached, we are aliens in our own world. Aliens in our own religion. جاء الإسلام غريبا سيعود غريب فطوبى للغرباء. We are at that time. Liberate yourself. Okay, let's go back to the Israelites. Pharaoh told them that I am the Lord. Because in Egypt, they believe in the 2 superior gods, idols, Orisis and Isis. You see the name Isis came. These people are very intelligent. Because the people doing the evil deed of Isis associated themselves with Islam. So they changed the name from ISIL to ISIS, relating it back to an Egyptian god, telling the people, imperceptibly, and trying to bombard your minds unconsciously, because it is at the what? Because, it is your cerebrum and your cerebellum. Cerebrum and the cerebellum are in the brain, isn't it? Your center of making memory and thinking and arranging, that is the frontal lobe. These people are bombarding it. For you to, believe that this Isis is related to the goddess Isis of Egypt. It's a paganistic religion. They want to associate Islam with paganism. Because ISIS is not ISIS, it is ISIL. Isn't it? But they turn it into ISIS. To put it in your mind, the ISIS of old, historically of Egypt, that idol is the same as this idol, because these people associate themselves with what? Islam. Isis and Orisis. Orisis is the man, Isis is the woman. And they bore a child called Horus. And that Horus is the name given to presidents in Egypt, that is Pharaoh. So that's why Pharaoh say, Ana Rabbukumul A'ala. Because my father, my mother are goddess. They are the highest, that I'm the God here in Egypt. This is secret. So they exposed the Israelites to this concept. They believe that Allah has to be seen. Father Goff was here. I don't know whether he has supporters here. But this is not politics. Father Goff was here. Father Goff once said, if I want, I can know whatever is going on in every compound. And when you are in State House, whatever you say or you do, the camera will just pick you up. Isn't it? We went to a level, when you are in a vehicle, you don't discuss in the Gambia, no, but everybody become in the Gambia. Nobody knows who is who. Isn't it? The whole country was infested with agents. Even a small boy could be an agent. Isn't it? Pharaoh did the same thing to the Israelites in Egypt. That's why he was able to slaughter the babies at the time of their birth. يُذَبِّحُونَ أَبْنَاءَكُمْ when they delivered. When their mothers delivered them. In every household, there was an agent that is executing the commandments of Pharaoh. So these people were traumatized. They think Pharaoh is everywhere. Pharaoh is everything. Because a God knows everything. See how Pharaoh, that's why there is nothing new under the sun. The practicality, the implementation, the time, the space, the people, the mechanism, and the policies are different. Pharaoh knows everything in Egypt. So that's why these people use that. They were so accustomed to Pharaoh that they say Pharaoh is truly God. A God has to be seen because Pharaoh is doing everything. Musa came and liberated them. When Musa went, the confrontation with the magicians of Pharaoh, this is not a story, it's part of this topic that I am assigned to discuss. Take it from me. This is the main points. I'm going to create a cure or a treatment. When Moses saw the sticks and the nuts turned into snakes, that was a trick. Holding his stick, he himself, fear overcame him. That's why Allah says, Ya Muja, fa'awjasa fi nafsihi khifatan. Musa had some fear in his mind, and Allah called him Musa. Then the attention was engaged. Throw what is in your hand. But he was stiff. He was completely out of balance, what he saw, because he was born in that reality, the reality of magic, the reality of material, superiority, using it against the spiritual, mental power of the people. Musa liberated them and they went. Imagine, somebody liberated you from Pharaoh, torturing you, killing your sons. Day in, day out, you are just laboring in the field, in the farms, everywhere. They crossed the Red Sea. And at the Red Sea, Musa just beat the waters with the stick, and there was a road, a dry one. I think that's the greatest miracle that somebody can witness. Imagine, isn't it? An example is in the Gambia immediately, let's say right now. We just discovered a big field of diamonds. gold in Karawan, diamonds in Bansan, a big well of petrol in the ocean. What would we do? I mean, it would be too much for us. I think no Gambian would just say, I'm going back way again. Isn't it? Every Gambian will say, let me just be patient until these things are properly exploited, that I benefit from them. The same thing happened to the Israelites. They crossed the sea. The enemy is drowned. The enemy is dead. I think what were they supposed to do? Allah who sent Moses, and Moses performed those miracles, by the permission of Allah. I think those people should have paid the highest level of respect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But look at the disease of inferiority complex. Inferiority complex. I will show you today how it came and where it is in the Holy Quran. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, subhanallah. Surah Al-A'raf, verse number 138. وَجَاوَزْنَا بِبَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ الْبَحْرِ. They crossed the sea with Moses, with the providence of Allah. فَأَتَوْا عَلَىٰ قَوْمٍ. They just ran into people near the sea after drowning the enemy. يَعْكُفُونَ عَلَىٰ أَصْنَامٍ لَهُمْ. They were just perambulating, worshipping, adoring an idols, not one, idols that belong to those people. قالوا, they said, يا موسى اجعل لنا إلها كما لهم آلهة. Please, we want you to create an idol for us as the idols of these people. You forget God? Allah who just liberated you and rescued you. Imagine. You know why? Because there is that inferiority complex. Allah is supreme. Musa is a living person among you, your brethren, your brother, guiding you and liberating you. But you come to a people worshipping an idol. Allah and an idol, who is superior and who is inferior? Allah is superior. An idol is inferior than inferiority, isn't it? You come, you say you don't want Allah, you want the idol. I think we get the point. So Musa, what did Musa told them? Inna ha'ula'i, these people, mutabbarun ma hum fihi wa batilun ma kanu ya'malu. These people, what they are doing is absolutely destructive and is going to be completely annihilated. And it is invalid and bad in time and space and even in morality. Based on our humanity, for them what they are doing is completely wrong. He says, Allah rescue you. Why forget Allah? Because inferiority complex breeds in you that sense you will never be elevated. You will never rise. You will never go up from that slumber, the lowest level that you were put in. That's how it put in you. Very strange. Very, very strange. So that's why Musa told them, أغير Allah, is it, something that is not Allah, أبغيكم, that I am going to seek and give it to you as a Lord? But the first verse, look at what Musa said. Antum qawmun tajhalun. You are people who are out of context. You are out of modesty. You are out of courtesy. You are out of good behavior. You are people who are ignorant. So inferiority complex, the signs is ignorance. The signs are what you don't know, alien concepts, you follow them. The signs are you forget, you become ungrateful. The signs are, in fact, the person helping you is the number one enemy that you create for yourself. These are the 5 manifestations of inferiority complex. You go to my brother's verse. That's where we can find the treatment. But not yet anyway. We have a lot to go. Because Al-Izzah in the Holy Quran, Izzah is respectability, dignity, and honor. Self-esteem. We need to say it. We need to give it to the people. So that from today, Nobody will be somebody who is going to accept what is called torture, is going to accept violations against its rights and the right of others. Because in Islam there is that collective spirit, there is that group action, and there is that outlook which is beneficial to everybody. Surah Al-Ma'idah verse 22 to verse 24 or 26. The first manifestation example of inferiority complex, isn't it? The second one is it breeds in you fear. That's why anybody who does not want to fail, you are a slave. Because you cannot be successful until and unless you fail. You have to have both experiences for you to be a successful person. We learn walking by falling down. We learn eating by biting our tongue. We learn walking, even knocking stones on the road. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Musa crossed, well, Allah forgave them for the first sin. You know, the three dimensions of inferiority complex. I will explain everything. Before going to the last one, let me go to the second station. Ignorance. The first one is what? Ungratefulness. The first one is what? That is, stupidity, ignorance. Moses left his people just near a rock, a mountain, because Allah has asked him to come and take the law, the constitution, with which he is going to govern his people when they reach a town where they are going to settle. Because you cannot constitute a law, a constitution, except if the community becomes a sedentary community. Because you cannot apply laws on nomads, people who are moving. Isn't it? So Moses left them near a rock, a mountain, and charged his brother Harun to take care of them. There was a Sumerian from Iraq, a person skilled in metal or iron smelting. That person has that knowledge of turning iron into anything. Imagine somebody living in Egypt, going into the desert, and you have millions of tons of gold in your baggage. Does it make sense? It doesn't make sense. It tells you that material people, even if you allow them the corpse, they can put money in the grave. So materialism, if it is excessive, is dangerous. And it is what is killing us in the Gambia. Competition, rat race. Every occasion is osobi. There's a big problem. Because we are so much infected with this material infatuation. Love for material, for position, for dignity, but unearned and unwarranted. This is our problem. So Moses left them just for 30 nights. What Mama be ushering. Just to bring the law that is going to govern and administer you for your own advantage and benefit. Look at how mental slavery impacts on people. Samiri came and said, where is the gold? They gave him the gold and he turned it into an image of a calf. You know why? Because that Samiri, you know that in Egypt, the calf was the most respected image that used to be worshipped in Egypt, the cow. The cow is the highest, the most respected animal image that was being worshipped in Egypt. That's why that man knows that if I turn this gold into a cow, these people will worship the cow. That's why in Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah says, Musa asked them, Inna Allah ya'amurukum an tasbahu baqaratan. Is it a real baqarah or it is a material, spiritual baqarah? It is killing, slaughtering materialism in your mind. And tasbahu, the whole class cannot slaughter one cow. Is it possible? All the people here, can they slaughter one cow? We need one or two people to slaughter a cow. And tasbahu, all of you, baqaratan, one single cow, but a very strange one in your mind, excessive material love, materialism in your mind, in your soul, on your body. Kill it. It's killing us in the Gambia here. You give me money as an ustaz, I can deviate and even distort the commandments of the Quran and the Sunnah for my material benefit. Much more, give me a Pajero. I will justify your wrong. Your evil, I will justify it. Isn't it? Because I am controlled, dominated, and governed by material considerations. You know, look at it. Moses went to bring the constitution, as it happened in the Gambia here. Before 3 months of this new dispensation, complaint upon complaint. Complaint upon complaint. You see, the Quran is a living word of God. Not God, but Allah. I don't believe that God should be called God. Except for expediency's sake. But I don't believe it. Because God will in your conscience play another very nasty string. A mystical string in your mind. You will never give respect to Allah if you call him God. But when you call him Allah, you have that fear in you. هَلْ تَعْلَمُ لَهُ سَمِيًّا. He has no soul. It's another form of mental liberation. It is the lifeless idols that are called God. It is not the true God who is called God. The true God is called Allah. Moses went to bring the laws. They started worshiping the calf because they have been imbued, inculcated. Psychologically, they have been fed with that, nasty or very bad nutrients called idol worship. In Egypt, the most prominent figure was the calf, the cow. Just it is happening in India. Indians don't, the Hindus don't eat cows. When you kill a cow, they can even kill you. Sacred consecration of an animal is a remnant of paganism and ignorance. And hunger is beating them every day. The poorest nation on earth, but they're going to the sky. Inferiority complex is not there, they kill it. Scientifically, they compete in the West, but with a very high rate of poverty. We are not poor. We are not starved. No famine. Water is abundant. Food is there. The soil is fertile. But we are the poorest of the poor because we are poor in mind. We are poor because we say we cannot do it. Tubabo le bakela. Si tubabo bina sign. Foga jaya ka wole di nata fendila. Foga jaya durong tubabo ka wole di. Hali bukol foga jaya lo. Bukol me tulta betale ka wole kinna library. It's tragedy. It's a big tragedy. Okay, look at it. This is, inferiority complex. These people, they were worshipping a calf image. Alami ebondi Egypt out of slavery. Injinata walekani so bad. You worshipping what the calf, an image, much less an image. But the man was very intelligent. You know, the man was very good in physics, the science of physics and chemistry. You know, he melted the calf in a way, the mouth and the back. He made a hole at the back, you know, turned the calf in a way, when wind blows and enters the back, it comes out of the mouth, and there is a woo, a sound, vibration. The Quran says, lahu khuwarun. It has its own way of producing a sound. Because sound simply means electrons born electrons. When they are born, they create sound. That's why when there is thunder, this thunder is light, is fire. When there is, heat is being distributed adiabatically. It produces sound. That sound, it is a dead electrons. They are spreading, and that spreading creates the sound. So this man was very good in physics. That's Samiriyu, because he was from Iraq, Mesopotamia, and they were very good in cosmology. Bearing relation to, because they were the people who have iron. There was not iron in Egypt. Egypt were professors in stone building, stone imaging. From there, Moses came very angry. And even the tablets, he threw them and they broke. And the Quran says it. Because you cannot imagine people worshiping what? Because they are traumatized, they are hypnotized, they are educated wrongly, and they are controlled. Pharaoh is drowned, but still the corpse of Pharaoh's dead body is controlling the minds of the Egyptians. Despite the fact that Pharaoh is dead. You see how inferiority complex makes you? Every time a slave to yourself or a slave to somebody who has control you. Pharaoh was telling them, I am the Lord. They say, Musa, create an idol for us. Moses, there was a calf in Egypt, very rampant and notorious there. And they say, we are worshipping. Samari is using that against them. So another manifestation of what? Inferiority complex. That is ignorance and easily forgetting. Let's go to the third one. You know, as a people, a community given a book, you need to be a sedentary people. You need to have your own location, geographical. You need to have a town to be identified. That's why Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, out of that, very, very, very difficult, trial, very, very difficult tribulations and tribulations. When he asked the first reverse to go to Ethiopia, but there was that biological link. I will expose something today so that you can kill the devil of inferiority complex in your mind. They will tell you that he asked the companions to go to Ethiopia because the Quraysh clan there was a business transaction that was being conducted annually between Ethiopia and Mecca. I will tell you it is a historical misrepresentation. It's a distortion of facts. The grandfather of Muhammad, the wife, is from Ethiopia. Even the father of Muhammad sallallahu, the woman who born him was an Ethiopian. Abdul Muttalib, the wife of Abdul Muttalib was Ethiopian. So the Ethiopians were more or less in a position of an uncle until coming to Muhammad sallallahu. That's why the Quraysh sent Amr ibn As to go and intercede on their behalf to bring back the companions. Because Amr ibn As' mother is Ethiopian. That's why Umar ibn Khattab sent the same man, Amr ibn As, to go to Egypt in order to open Egypt, to conquer the Romans there, because the Egyptian civilization is connected directly, biologically, to the Ethiopian civilization. But we didn't write any history. When somebody wrote your history, he presents himself as an ideal. He presents you as an evil. Where is our history? We have no history. Tubabo kotek, tubabo kotek, tubabo kotek, tubabo kotek. Tubabo don't take kunyima safele la kuotoko. Faba safela. Go tubabo la tell for you to be downgraded all the time. Downgraded all the time. So one needs to be liberated. So the third point, which is very important, that's where my brother was reading. You know, Allah says, okay, I brought you out of Egypt, I liberated you, I destroyed the enemy. The person who was subjecting you to all forms of torture, injustice. Your humanity has been violated and abused. And here you are coming to become an independent nation, a people free, liberated. You decide your own destiny. Go into that land. And the third manifestation of inferior complex is fear. And out of a fearful mind, no creation will come out. This is what is happening in the Gambia. Whatever you say, especially in the Ustaz circle, whatever I say, they say, I have on the Muntole. If the Arabs don't say it, it is invalid. It is a problem, it's a disease. We don't say things out of our own philosophical minds. We don't project our minds. These are based on critical, analytical realities. These are based on the incitement and the encouragement of the Quran. These are methodologies that the Quran provided for you to go forward, not to go backwards. It's a problem for the African Muslim and the Ghanaian Muslim particularly for that matter. creating all the time storms out of teacups. The only time you just feel about their roarings and their thunder is about the Gammo dispute, it's about the Nyaka dispute, it's about this marginalized dispute. You know, we don't need that. We need to rehabilitate people to make good people. When people are made good, rehabilitated, given the right orientation, you create the greatest nation spiritually and materially on this earth. But unfortunately, where are we in relation to what Muhammad left with us? Go into this beautiful town. There is fruits, everything, water you eat. I will guide you. Go through the door. But humble yourself. You say, Inna lan nadkhulaha. We will never go inside that town. Inna fiha qawman jabbari. Very powerful people are there. It is the same strategy and psychology America used against the world. One actor, Hollywood actor called Schwarzenegger, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Rambo alone will go to Vietnam according to the Hollywood cinema. You know, engage in a battle with the entire Lebanese army and kill everybody and come back to America. Arnold Schwarzenegger do the same thing, isn't it? America has cruise missile Tomahawk. From California, they can beat you to the end of the world, technologically. So out of that, it is in our minds that America is, you can't stand up to America. You can't stand up to America. America is a superpower. That is well engrossed and entrenchedly put in your mind. To a level, even scientifically, you will never go into research. You see, America only yaban. Yaban muntole londi si bambang. Wama utitum min al-ilmi illa qalila. Musi londi bambang. Every day is named after a different name. Every second is completely different from the other second. Whatever we said from the beginning of this session, if I should repeat, I will never repeat what I've already said. Because a new reality will come to my mind, consciously, not unconsciously. Barin tolbe ABC, barin te dunda school ABC lebeki. ABC be banna sanjumale. Ninko kete balava fon le design. ABC siata school siata universities. ABC mam fe bonde no hanim. Ko abata fana mam fe bonde no. Because mental slavery man libari no hanim bi. Tin Qur'an o mam man to men libari. Qur'an o fon wala ya fa suratul hasr. ولو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله وتلك الأمثال نضربها للناس لعلهم يتفكرون. A rock, a mountain, can be soft, can be completely destroyed in dust when this Quran is descended on it. Much more we. Why can't we just simply change? But you know, Israel fear Jubeba coming. You know, don't be afraid of anybody. You know, in the Gambia, I have come to realize that in the ustad, in the teachers, we have a problem. Gambians, even musician, a musician Gambian. Na a musical place, a Gambian one more Gambian would say, eh, ni mamisikin or musical mandia. But even a monkey coming from Senegal or from America, when he comes into the stadium, a monkey, everybody will rush and go and be very attentive with the monkey. Even Hanaba Fenya Kalole Dijala, Danko Ike, musician, what it do. We have a problem. We have a mental problem. We need to liberate our minds. Let's love ourselves. Let us love ourselves and respect others. You love yourself, respect others. This is it. Don't offend them. Look at even the culture, what they do. Mental slavery. Friday, come to the Gambia. You think every Gambian is a good, pious Muslim. Every woman is putting on the Gambian traditional dress. Isn't it? But immediately after Salatul Jummah, the devil will come beating the drum again. Why should we do that? It is called mental slavery. Because you think you're playing games with Allah. No, it's not with Allah. You just mentally enslaving yourself. Because you are demonstrating what you are not. This is the evil part of mental slavery. You demonstrate what you are not. In America, no amount of political freedom will liberate the African American, except if the man is liberated. Martin Luther King said it. Marcus Garvey said it. All their liberation power personalities said it. But yet you go to America, you find that 45% are in drugs. Level of education is very low. But they would say, okay, the system didn't allow us to go in. But you exploit the system, you don't wait for the system. So we come there, go into that town, it's your town, if you go in, Allahu Akbar. No, we cannot go. Inna fiha qawman jabbarin. Inna lan nadkhula fiha hatta yakhruju. Fa in yakhruju, fa inna dakhilun. We will never go. And if they go out, we will go in. Sati, imagine somebody coming, a foreigner. He says at the airport, I will never go to Banjul except the Gambians go out of their country. Can that be possible? So that is fear. Fear, cowardice. So inferiority complex people are always in a state of, pathological fear. Psychologically, they are a coward. To cure them, look what the Quran is saying. The same verse. Allah says, okay. And what happened is their insolency kulubaliya. Their insolency towards Musa and Allah is, listen to what they are saying. اذهب أنت وربك أو وربك فقاتلا إنا هاهنا قائدون. Go with your Lord who sent you. We are here permanently staying. So they never believed that the Lord who liberated them from Egypt to that town, they never believe in him. They think it is a personal Lord because they were brought up under an environment, a torture psychologically, that a Lord is a Lord that has to be seen a physical body, perceptibly by the eye, to be smelled, to be touched, to be tasted by the tongue. That is, I want to say, Ana Rabbukumul A'la. So, it is only Moses' Lord. It is only Moses' God, not their God. Isn't it? So this is actually what happened with people who are inferiority, having a disease of inferiority complex. But there is a very simple way. That's why we don't want to waste any time with this new generation, with the little that Allah has given us in terms of thoughts, ideas, concepts. Concepts, ideas, and thoughts. Thoughts are within you. Ideas, you produce them. That's ideas are put into trial. If they are correct, they become concepts. That's the difference. I think you get the difference? Because sometimes English, we mix them up. A thought, an idea, and concept. A concept impacts on you, but an idea can be put to trial. It can be rejected, but a thought is in you. So that's why we want to go. We want to rush against time. Because otherwise things are going to fall, as Chinua Achebe says, when the center does not hold, things fall apart. And it's what is actually, we are on the brink of that here. Because divisive forces, acrimonious forces, conflicting forces, everything is in the Gambia now. Because who is going to watch over the watchman? It's a problem. Only Allah can watch over the watchman. So we have that problem. Look at it. There is a very simple way of treating this situation. Allah told Musa alayhi salam, this land is prohibited. It is completely forbidden for them to go in. You know why? That's why there is something called intergenerational injustice. If the old generation didn't care, didn't transmit the righteous principles of living and life, did not enjoy righteousness, calling people to good, forbidding evil, until it becomes an accepted phenomenon in society. If the previous generations, the old ones, they didn't do this function properly, the same bad habits will just devolve or evolve in the new generation. It becomes an intergenerational injustice and sin. Whatever sin committed in the new one, they will have part of it tomorrow, because they fail to do what Allah asked them to do. That's why a teacher, an imam, an ustaz, a president, a director, everybody is an acting agent, an acting executive. Everybody. Everybody is an acting executive. There is no exclusion. So that's why here, look at this very important thing that Allah is going to do. It is a very good solution. إِنَّهَا مُحَرَّمَةٌ عَلَيْهِ. But Allah says, I'm going to cause them. They are going to be roaming into the desert for 40 years. They are going to be a lost people for 40 years in the desert. And when they were departing from Egypt, the older generation was outnumbered the younger one. So the older generation, at average, their ages were 40 years to 50. If you allow those 40 to 50 years to roam the desert, all of them will die. When they die, they are the poisons, poisoning the new one. When they die, then the new one will enter the town and become a new nation. A nation clean of inferiority complex. So that's why we must build an insulation. We must build a barzakh. We must build a very strong, impregnable wall between the old and the new, as prescribed in the Quran. Innahum, Allah say, muharrama alayhim, Allah say, they will be yatihuna fil ardi arba'ina sana. They will be roaming on no purpose in the land. That's why it has become a part and parcel of the life of anybody who is having a Jewish mentality. Judaism is not a race. Judaism, Christianity is a mentality. That's why the people of Israel, they are not Yahud, they are not Bani Israel. It's a mentality. It's the evil. It is the outcome of the evil concepts that are gleaned from the Bible and from the Holy Quran, which was narrated against their great-grandparents, is what they are using to make it into a system of living. It is a concept. And even Islam is a concept, because that concept has to have an impact on you, influence your worldview. When your worldview is impacted, you see the reality, knowing that there is a three component which are inseparable. That is the world, that is man, and that is life. If you understand this properly, you will cure yourself of inferiority complex. Let's come to the final part of the discussion. Allahu Akbar. I say foolish pride and self-bigotry has no place in Islam. I quote the verse in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 206. إِذَا تَوَلَّى سَعَى فِي الْأَرْضِ لِيُفْسِدَ فِيهَا. Islam has nothing to do with that. But let us go to Surah Al-Fatir. Yeah, I think it's Surah Al-Fatir. If my memory is not betraying me. Yeah, I think it's Fatir, where Subhanahu wa Ta'ala is saying, listen very careful. Man kana yuridu al-izzah, falillahi al-izzah jami'a. Man kana yuridu al-izzah, falillahi al-izzatu jami'an. Anybody who wants dignity, honor, and respectability, elevation morally, spiritually, intellectually, economically, financially, socially, to be the best of the best, he says all is with Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if everything is with Allah, Allah وَمَا فَرَطْنَا فِي الْكِتَابِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ. Allah has given you everything in the book. Isn't it? إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُدَافِعَ عَنِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. But Allah didn't say, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُدَافِعَ And الَّذِينَ أَسْلَمُوا آمَنُوا. Islam is the main gate. Iman is the peculiar aspect of it. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. But there is no chapter called Suratul Muslimin. But there is a chapter called Suratul Mu'minin. One, then if Allah is, all the respect, dignity is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you say you are following Allah's way and deen, inna dina indallah Islam, are you not entitled to be a dignified person? Then something is wrong. There is a disconnection, alienation, completely. Physically you are with Allah, mentally you are with somebody else. And this is what happens in our masjids. We're praying, mobile is there, scratching the body, looking at somebody, looking the other side. Because you are completely absent from prayers. Because prayers teach you that you should be in a state of trance. It is a transcendental experience. You are beyond time and space, directly connected to the superior being. One. Number two, let's go to Surah Al-Munafiqeen. Or Surah Al-Munafiqun. يقولون, the hypocrites will be saying, لَإِنْ رَجَعْنَا إِلَى الْمَدِينَةِ. When we return to Medina, Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul and his companions, there are millions of them now in the Gambia. Who are you? From mud to water to sperm to a human being. It's a mujumality. Who are you? In the problem of Gambia, people are completely afraid we cannot speak the truth. You say the truth, everybody, you become the enemy, number one enemy of society. But it's better to be an enemy of society when you are on the right track than to be a friend of society when you are on the wrong track. Take it from me. وَلْتَكُنْ مِنْكُمْ أُمَّةٌ. There must be a nation among you. يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ وَيَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ وَأُولَٰئِكَ. These are the successful ones. If you want to be successful, go into that group or category. Otherwise, you become a failure, a burden, a labor upon society and upon yourself. فَإِنْ رَجَعْنَا إِلَى الْمَدِينَةِ لَيُخْرِجَنَّ الْأَعَزُّ مِنْهَا الْأَذَلُّ. Dividing society into the low and the high. It's just like as we are. When the Tubab come to my house, they say, I want your daughter Tubabu Kotoba. And a very good young Gambian, pious, modest Gambian comes. And Safaka Kamine Doku, Atedoku, mashallah. I'll never give her my daughter. If the means are there. Not if you don't have the means. You cannot be drinking ataya 24 hours, coming to look for people's daughters' hand. No. You cannot do that. No, that cannot be done. At least something must be, you must start an initiative. That's why a slave mind, there is no initiative in a slave man. You create opportunities, you don't wait for them to come. You don't have problem with that. You create an opportunity. The Senegalese are doing it. People doing engineering, let them create something. Mathematics, create something. Everybody, let us create something. Opportunities are created, but they are supported, but they are not given. When an opportunity is given to you, you abuse it, it gets finished, you die, you become a lazy person. That's why I don't believe in AIDS, AID. It leads to AIDS. Understand what I mean? International AIDS. Yeah, AIDS is a disease. The other one is a grant. They give you. They control your mind. I say I don't believe in AID. It leads to AIDS. One is a disease. One is just they make you redundant. You just wait for their grants. When it comes, it. When it doesn't come, you die. Because AIDS kills people, isn't it? Our minds are controlled. And we like, we Gambians, we like these subventions, grants, these debts. We like it. We don't create anything. Even building a small police station, there is no resources. What do they mean? And you are receiving salaries. Why can't you take contributions? Just build a small station. But there is no resource. When is the resources coming? Hani petrol bottle jambe yon dia bannaja. Momo doko parende no stone no. Everybody has a stick. Can only official kono fire. Somebody has to sit on your right, on your prerogatives and your entitlement. You beat him and he beats you. Aleta police. Police will find level to la kerola far. Allahu Akbar. So let's go to Surah Al-Munafiqeen again. لَإِنْ رَجَعْنَا إِلَى الْمَدِينَةِ لَيُخْرِجَنَّ الْأَعَزُّ مِنْهَا الْأَذَلُّ. Look at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah says, وَلِلَّهِ الْعِزَّةِ وَلِرَسُولِهِ وَلِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَلَكِنَّ الْمُنَافِقِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Somebody without pride, moderate, somebody without self-respect, self-esteem, itemam fenlong. Walatinna nafiko atemalum famme mutonyati. Alako, they would say when we go back to Medina, this is Abdullah ibn Ubay and his companions, you know, the highly esteemed, the big one will just evacuate and drive away the small ones. That is Muhammad and his companions, the believers. But the Quran responded, self-esteem, superiority, power, respect is for Allah, is for Prophet Muhammad sallallahu and is for the believers. Are you not a believer? Then kill the devil of inferiority complex. You know why? Because Allah says, وَلَكِنَّ الْمُنَافِقِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Hypocrites will never understand. If somebody is inferior, he will never understand. The only thing he knows, yes boss, yes boss, yes boss, yes boss. And yes boss leads you to perdition, to poverty, to death, and in the other world, Allah knows where you're going. Because you need to be strong here for you to be strong there. You need to be clear here in mind and conscience. You know, Islam clears the body, the human mind. The human mind must be clear of uncertainties and superstition. The human soul has to be very much clean from corruption and sin. The human conscience has to be completely cleared of what? Of fear. And the human body has to be cleared of degeneration and disorder. This is Islam. When we do it, we are free. But all these points, values, are not in our lives. Because somebody is controlling our destiny. The framework given to us by Allah and Islam, we have abused it, we delegate it. We delegate everything, even our minds, we delegate it to people to think for us. It's a problem. So that's why here, Al-Izza lillah wal-Rasul wal-Mu'minin. Let's go to Surah Al-Nisa, 1 verse 38. Allahu Akbar. الذين يتخذون you have a harvest here. الذين يتخذون الأولياء من دون المؤمنين. What is the condition of those who are taking friends, allies, companions from people who are ungrateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Allah says, أَيَبُغُونَ أَيَبْتَغُونَ مِنْهُمُ الْعِزَّةِ. Are they seeking esteem, respect out of them? And it is what is happening in the Arab world. The Arabs are just on a racetrack with their buttons running. Every Arab is running to America, to Donald Trump. But Donald Trump is no fool. Donald Trump is a fool, but intelligent in his foolhardy. You know why? They were running to him, he recognized Israel, Jerusalem. But Allah is using Donald Trump to establish another fact. Donald Trump is quickening the death and the demolition of Israel. See, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sometimes contradictions are interesting. To the normal human eye, you become angry. But this decision is another easy way to destroy Israel. And very soon it will be destroyed. Yeah. Yeah, because this recognition is the catalyst. It is an easy way to destruction to the end of Israel. Israel has a checkered history. It has no friend. Somebody will just say something on the wisdom of Allah, it will destroy Israel. They are building walls around their city. Surah Al-Hashr tells you, وَظَنُّوا أَنَّ مَانِعَتُهُمْ حُصُونُهُمْ. They think their walls will prevent them from destruction. They will destroy. Not out of religion, but out of injustice, because injustice breeds on what it is injustice. Injustice breeds on injustice, it destroys itself. That's why apartheid went away. It was injustice, the wisdom of Allah. The person was in prison, but it was able to what? Call it the thesis, the thesis, the climax, and the anticlimax. It has to come down. That's the law of, that's the sunnah of Allah. You know how we do it? Are we not digesting food in the stomach? For every 10 days, the stomach is renewing itself. But at the end of the day, you eat your stomach, you are finished, you are dead. We even kill ourselves. That's why man actually kills himself. Man is not dead, he kills himself. Very sharp and very beautiful. But the more you you beat the what do you call it, mortar. The more you beat it, the more it becomes smaller. Our teeth, the more we eat it, the more it becomes smaller. You see, my teeth all are gone. If I put on artificial teeth, they say, hey, Ustaz is going back to youngster days. I will do it. Because otherwise, people will start laughing at me. Isn't it? I'll do it. So, the Quran says, فَإِنَّ الْعِزَّةَ لِلَّهِ وَلِرَسُولِ فَإِنَّ الْعِزَّةَ لِلَّهِ Jami'an, all the esteem, respect is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So why are going to people who are just ungrateful to Allah? You cannot get it from them. You know, you go into people, learn what they are doing, come and integrate it in your system. That's why the best intellectual is somebody who knows something that his people do not know. But his people know something which is not amenable to his time or to their time, detrimental to their survival. He will bring what he knows and make a review of what his people are doing detrimentally. He will try to expunge, disintegrate that bad part of it, and integrate the best part of what he got and try to lead his people into the right path. That is an intellectual. But not having a degree, no. How many degree holders abuse our rights here in the Gambia? How many of them, masters, PhD, they will tell us, I am from so and so university. You are not from a university, from a cow dung. Nisi correct. Because it take a minke o manke londo ti karamo buka songola. Karamo drondom fongote minke liberate. When it is good, you take it. When it is bad, you reject it. We live independently, cleanly, out of all, what is called the webs, the spider web of mental slavery. Is the most dangerous thing. When I reach here, I think, mashallah, we can say, we can just give time for Q&A, except if there is any other idea that comes, we can add it there. Is it 1 hour?
It's up to 2 o'clock.
No, what I mean, is it 1 hour that we've spoken?
More than that. More than that.
No, what I mean, time I've taken.
Is it 1 hour?
Has it reached 1 hour? Since I started.
Yeah, it has reached.